Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos. I also do other things like bullet journaling and planning, and every once in a while I do a vlog. But in today's video, I am going to get into answering a really big question for our budget, and that is, can we survive on my income alone? If you have been with me for a while, my channel is just over a year old now, but if you've been with me for a while, you know that my husband got laid off from work last year. And since then, his income has been really sporadic. Now, we are going to have some answers as far as where he's going to go or how things are going to work out by the end of next month. But between now and then, I started to really focus in on our numbers, and I was really just taking stock of everything, and I wanted to rework our budget, and I just wanted to answer the question because I really had never contemplated it before. Would we be able to survive on my income alone? Now, the reason why I never asked myself that question before is because we've always worked. Since before we were married, we've always had full-time jobs, and we've always just worked. And so I never really, I guess it was a luxury not to have to, think about the questions like, what would we do if, something happened? And not that that's a luxury, but it's just not something I think that people think about, or maybe they don't think about it as much as they need to. I know I'm guilty of that, and this has really been an eye-opener, because I wanted to see what would we have to do if we had to live on just one income. And of course, a lot of things would have to tighten up. But as I was looking through things, we really don't have that much wiggle room. So the only thing that I could think of, so I'm going to write bills on top of this because I want to have this in my Happy Planner or Happy Notes notebook. This is where I keep most of my financial information, everything budget related. What I wanted to do was rewrite this in here. So one, we could talk about it. And number two, I could have this as an archived piece that I could look back on, hopefully in a couple months, and think, wow, you know what? We were so close to permanently living off one income. Well, not really, but you never know. So I wanted to see what could we cut back on, what am I budgeting too high? And I have been known to do that. If you've been watching my budget with me videos for any amount of time, especially with utilities, I like to budget high. I know that our bills aren't going to be as much as I budget, but I like having that little buffer because then I can just put that money aside and do something else with it. But I like having that buffer because if we did for some reason receive a ridiculously high utility bill, then we would be covered. And so that's kind of my way of thinking. But the more we got into this year, well, since last year, and the more we started to have to kind of pinch pennies and rework our numbers, the more I realized I really don't need to budget so high for certain things. I want this budget to be 100% realistic and accurate, so I can really look at it and say, okay, that's how much money I need every month. This is how much money we need to keep our house going. And so I thought that was a really interesting experiment. And I encourage you, before I get into the real numbers and, itemizing every single bill that we have due, I encourage you guys, if you haven't done something like this and really taken stock of what your whole situation looks like and what it could potentially look like if you had to rely on one income or whatever the case may be. It's just really something that I think everybody should be prepared for, because you never know if you're going to face an uncontrollable situation, and we all need to be better prepared, no matter how prepared we are. And some of us are nearly perfect at it, myself not included, but no matter how prepared we are, we can always improve. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start listing these items, and then I will show you my actual numbers. And you'll have a really good idea, same as me, on what we actually need to keep our household going, and then pretty much how much we would need for the extras. And when I'm talking extras, I'm not talking about gift giving and buying new clothes and hobbies and, you know, anything like that, vacations. I'm talking about gas for our cars, food, taking care of our dogs, you know, kind of basic necessities. So you will see in a moment why I'm saying that, because of how our numbers crunched. All right, so I'm gonna put gas here. Now, gas and electricity is something that I always have budgeted high. And like I said, I did that because I like the feeling of having a buffer. But from now on, I'm going to be extremely realistic. Electricity. I'm talking as I'm trying to write this stuff, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And so I'm going to be more realistic and more accurate, at least until he gets back to work and things go back to somewhat normalcy. All right, so student loan and then cable. And what else do we have? Water. And our sewage is in that bill. And then lease number 2 and trash. Now, what's interesting about our trash is we only get billed every 3 months. And so sometimes I actually forget about it. Now, it's always in my calendar as something that I need to pay. I don't rely on bills to come in the mail or bills to come to me electronically. I rely on my system and putting things in a calendar. That is how I keep myself organized. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, because I forgot about trash. All right, so you guys know for quite some time now, I have budgeted $1,000 for our mortgage, but actually our mortgage payment right now is $946. Now, we had some arrearages. We had some escrow that was due last year. Our home was pretty much not reappraised, but our property value went up, and so the county wanted to tax higher, and it was a lot higher. So we're talking almost $1,200 a year higher, and it happened to every single person in our county who owned a home. And so that had to be reconfigured, and then we had some arrearages with our escrow. So what I went and did is I took it out of our savings and I paid it down. I wasn't comfortable with our mortgage going up so much, and I wasn't sure how I was going to handle that. So I went ahead and finally did that, and now we're back to kind of realistic, in a good place numbers. And even though I would budget $1,000, this is the actual amount due. And so like I said, I got a little bit ahead of ourselves, and I also paid off our arrearages. So I wanted to keep our payment where it was. Now, I'm super interested in refinancing our home, because right now we're paying 4.375% interest. And that's high. That's really high. 2 years ago when we refinanced, that was like the best rate going. Now, right now, you're looking at about 3.7 down to 3.3, sometimes even in some cases 3.1, and it depends on if you go 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, but we can't refinance right now because technically my husband is unemployed at the moment, so we have to wait till he gets back to work full-time. So that is killing me, because I know we could save so much money if we would just refinance, but we'll get there. So car lease number 1, this is my car, and it is $320 a month. So I fought hard, guys. I was really picky, and I was shopping everywhere to try and keep this deal very close to my past lease payment. So this was really the best I could do, and I'm not too stressed out about it. So right now, our home insurance is $115 per month, and we have some other things like personal things rolled into that for, you know, coverage and protection. So before anybody says, oh my gosh, you're getting gouged on your homeowners, it has a little bit more to do with that, but I'm not going to get into that here. You guys just for basic purposes know that that is what we're paying, and for the most part it is just homeowners. So for our MasterCard, which is our huge debt that we have, and I have a debt update coming up, guys. I have been pouring everything into it because I took from our savings to pay down some things and get caught up, especially with the mortgage. I was able to put some extra money toward our card, and so I'm really excited for the direction that's going. Now, for those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have a limited time offer balance transfer, and it does expire this September, so I have to have the entire thing paid off by then, or I have to transfer that money onto a new 0% interest balance transfer card. So anyway, I'm really hoping, and my plan is to have it paid off before then. All right, so the next thing is gas. Now, I used to budget for gas and electricity $200 a month. And so I called and I was interested in being put on a budget because we really have cut down on our usage as much as we can. Of course, our gas is our heat, and so it does go up a little bit in the winter months, and in the summer months it comes down. Same as electricity, it goes up in the summer because the air conditioner comes down in the winter. And so I thought if I could just budget $100 for each of these and maybe the other would offset, I don't know. I'm gonna try it. I'm waiting to hear back about the budget. I'm hoping we can get down to gas and electricity as just $100 a month. So that's what I'm planning on right now. So for our cell phone, that has also changed, and now we are paying $245. And we were paying pretty close to that, and then I ended up replacing my phone and just a whole bunch of stuff. So I replaced my phone, and then I got rid of the iPad that was on our account. So after everything was said and done, and I did absolutely everything I could to bring it down, we still kind of evened out at $245 a month. And so it is what it is. So electricity, I'm also going to put down $100. And for, what am I doing? Something is wrong. Let's see. So cell phone, electricity, and then this wasn't car lease, this was car insurance. Oh goodness. All right. I knew something was wrong. So for our car insurance, we are paying $140 a month. And again, I know you guys think that's high, but we have two new, and well, they were both new vehicles when we got them, and we have our, what do you call, not our, what do you call that, liability. We have less paid out, you know, if something should happen, so it makes our insurance go up a little bit, but that's for both of us, and so I'm totally fine with that. And so for my student loan, which I have $95 right now, and for cable, we have $220, which is just ignorant. And it's literally $220 for, we have HBO, which we could cut back, but we signed up for it for 6 months. And so we got this promotion deal. And so we are locked in for 6 months. And I think that will end probably around March. But we have basic cable. We don't have like anything what they used to call beyond basic. We don't have any other premium channels, and we have internet. We don't have a home phone. We don't have anything else rolled into it. It is just expensive. Now, where I live, you don't have a choice of your cable provider. I don't know if that's the way it is where everybody lives. I'm assuming so. So we are just locked into the local cable provider, and the only other option is to get rid of cable and just keep, well, we would have to keep the internet, whether we went with AT&T, which is where our cell phones are, or if we actually did some kind of satellite. I have no idea. But I don't really want to do satellite because so many people that I've talked to that have it where I live, because we live in the Northeast, the weather is tricky. We get tornadoes, we get blizzards, we get just hammered with snow, and sometimes it affects the satellite reception. So I'm just really not interested in doing that, even though I know there's covers you can buy for them. I just don't think I'm prepared to make that change. So right now we are just at the cable's mercy. And so for our water, I am now budgeting $90 a month. And for car lease number 2, which is my husband's truck, we are $341. And then trash is $60 every 3 months. So that's about $20 a month. So what I'm going to do is show you guys what this actually looks like numbers. So we have, let's see, I have the total, but I didn't add the trash into it. So, all right, so total is, and I hope I did this right, so $28.72. Did I do that right? Yep, I think so. All right, so $28.72 a month. So how much do I make? So let's see. My income is $30.28, roughly. Sometimes my income is like a few dollars different. I get paid every other week, so approximately twice a month. Twice a year I get a third paycheck, which is a beautiful thing. But 1 week I'll get like $15.14, the next week I'll get like $15.17 or $15.18. It's really weird. But that is my income. So let's do and show you guys what's left over. Do you guys like the video with the real numbers, or is the system the more important thing? You'll have to let me know, because sometimes people have made comments in the past where they have said things like, you know, why do you put your numbers on there? You could just as easily do videos without it. And I guess I do it because I enjoyed the kind of videos that other people did when they put their real numbers down, and I just found it helpful. And I mean, it's not like I'm giving you guys my social security number, you know, my place of work, and my extension, how to get a hold of me. I mean, there is a limit to the information, but in my estimation and in my mind, numbers are just numbers. It doesn't really tell you who I am as a person. It doesn't tell you, you know, what my thoughts and values are, or, you know, my hopes and dreams. They're just numbers. And so I guess that's why I don't get too wrapped up in it. So I'm looking at $156 a month extra. So if you did 156 divided by 4 weeks, let's see, look at me doing a long division. Whose memories does this bring back? All right, so is it 36? 9? I think 9 times 4 is 36. My goodness, it's been a long time since I do any kind of math without calculator. So I'd be looking at approximately $39 a week. Now that $39 would have to cover our groceries, our dog food, the gas for our cars, anything extra, I mean, everything. And so while I do have enough money to cover all of our bills, with a little bit to spare, not much, I guess I could technically keep this house running, but I couldn't do anything more than that. We couldn't go to the doctor, buy prescriptions. We really couldn't do much of anything. And so it is eye-opening, and I'm super grateful that we each do have a job and that he is going to be going back to work. And, you know, I'm just grateful for, you know, everything that we have the opportunity to work for and work toward. So I just wanted to put this out there because, like I said, it's something that I really hadn't given any thought to in the past. And it's something that I think everybody needs to think about, because you never know what could happen. And as confident as I've always been, you know, basically 100% on the security of our jobs, I never saw the current situation that we're in ever coming. And who knows what could happen in the future, you know, knocking on wood, you know, I hope not. But you know, you have to deal with life and face problems as they come. And like I said, I think it's really good to have that knowledge ahead of time and know what you're dealing with ahead of time, so you can be as adequately as prepared as possible. And so these numbers might be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. Like I said, I budget a little bit differently, or I used to, and I'm learning now that I need to change things up a bit, and I need to be a little bit more frugal, a little bit more tight with my budgeting and my spending, and, you know, see if we can just kind of get by for the next 6 to 8 weeks or so until things kind of work themselves out. So if you are still here and watching, thank you so much. Leave me a comment if you are still here, because I'm never sure how many people actually watch these videos until the bitter end. But if you are still here, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who watched. And if this is a type of video that interests you, and you have, you know, any type of interest in other people and how they budget and their methods, and, you know, hopefully that can help you, please consider subscribing, because I would love if you stuck around for my next video. I hope you guys are doing well, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care.